I advise that the recording is about to start, so the meeting is going to be recorded. And I will ask Julie for the Sederant apologies. Thanks, Julie.
Thank you, and good morning, members. Provost Jim Todd.
Yeah.
Councillor Stephen Canning.
Present, thanks.
Councillor Ellen Friel. I'm here, Julie, thank you. Councillor John McFadden. Councillor John McGee. Councillor Elaine Cowan.
Here.
Councillor Maureen Mackay.
Present.
Councillor David Richardson.
Present, Julie.
Thank you. Councillor James Adams. Councillor Lillian Jones.
Present.
Councillor Ian Linton.
Yeah.
Councillor Douglas Reid.
Yeah.
Councillor Graham Barton.
Yep.
Councillor Graham Boyd.
Here, Julie.
Thank you. Councillor Barry Douglas.
Here.
Councillor Neil Ingram.
Here.
Councillor Peter Maben.
Here, Julie.
Thank you. Councillor Claire Maitland.
Here.
Councillor Beverly Clark.
Here.
Councillor Sally Cogley. Councillor Kevin McGregor.
Here, thanks.
Councillor Linda Holland.
Here, thanks, Julie.
Thank you. Deputy Provost Claire Leach.
Here, Julie, cheers.
Thank you. Councillor William Lennox.
Here.
Councillor Alison Simmons.
Here.
Councillor Billy Crawford.
Yeah.
Councillor June Kyle.
Present.
Councillor Jim McMahon.
Here, Julie, thanks.
Thank you. Councillor Neil Watts.
Present, Julie.
Thank you. Councillor Drew Filson.
Here.
Councillor Jennifer Hogg.
Here, thank you.
And Councillor Elaine Stewart.
Here, Julie, thanks.
Thanks, members.
Thanks very much, Julie. Members, with 14 items on the agenda today, so we'll rip right through the remarks. Ayrshire East District Scouts Awards Night. We had them in here on the 18th of May. This is every 2 or 3 years. That's to honour and award those scouts from various categories through the organisation. We do a lot of selfless works for youngsters, and it's great to see the adults being recognised. Walk for Lionheart, Ayrshire College, on the 19th of May. We went in the Walk for Lionheart, Ayrshire College, and it was 3 wonderful charities that were being supported. The sponsors and helpers made the occasion a very memorable one. At the General Assembly in Edinburgh on the 20th of May, we went along as the Provosts and Lord Provosts and conveners of all the authorities in Scotland go along to give their consent to the new moderator. And that was a lovely day we had there. East Ayrshire Council Schools Athletics event at AAA. We went along, and it's great to see it back up and running. This all started when I asked Cameron Sharp. Everybody will know who that is. If you don't, please look it up. One of Kilmarnock's sons who was absolutely brilliant on the field. And the youngsters had a great time, and it was Grange Academy that won the cup that day. Scottish Junior Cup final in Cumbernauld. We went along to there to see Mighty Cumnock defeat Rutherglen and Glencairn. And if you're going to win a cup, it's always best to score the only goal in the last minute of added time. So well done to Cumnock, and I believe Cumnock's still recovering. ROON the TOON, the 10k road race, on the 11th of June. A massive thank you everyone who ran, especially Greg Walker and David Muffet, 2 of our employees who volunteered to run and raise funds for MND Scotland. So well done to the guys. And when I spoke to David after, he said never again. So, and we met a lovely chap from Glasgow who said after the race that he goes to all the 10Ks in Scotland, and he said Kilmarnock is the best. So that's a great accolade. Foundation Sub Family Centre at the prison, 12th of June. We went along. Lorna had raised a lot of funds and a lot of interest in the Foundation Centre, and this is a lovely wee building outside the prison where the families can go and get succour and a bit of support if they're visiting loved ones. Stuart Museum on the 14th of June. This is a great initiative where the Stuart History Group got together and managed to get a room, thanks to Annika's team, in the centre to show off all of the artefacts that have got a real Stuart history attached to them. It looks great, and they've got loads of stuff. They're going to have a continual refresh. It'd be great. I'd advise everybody to go up and look at that. The volunteer recognition event at Park Hotel on the 15th of June. This is for all those folk that volunteer in the third sector and all the stuff that they do. It was a great night and really emotional stories that really highlighted the immensity and breadth of what that they do. So I hope they continue to do that. Veterans Housing in Scotland, I don't know if anybody knows about them, mostly in the East Coast. I attended their reception at Glasgow City Chambers on the 19th of June to discuss Scotland's veteran housing needs, and I'm going to ask that they come down and talk to some of our officers here in East Ayrshire to see if we could maybe build some houses for veterans through that charity. WILLOWBANK School, 10-year birthday, my goodness, 10 years, incredible. Youngsters had a great time at the prom, and 10 years of nurturing our young folk who attend the school. And if anybody comes out there without a lump in their throat, it's amazing at the work that all of those guys do. FIDDLE Orchestra was Saturday night, 24th of June. There's some of East Ayrshire young folk are going on a trip to the USA in the southern states to play all the brilliant music that they do. And Victor Spence, president of the Edinburgh Interfaith Association, was there, and he gifted me this lovely tie. It's the peace tie, and they're taking this tartan over to America when they do their tour. So I wish them all the very best on their journey. That's it, folks. We're into the business proper, and item 1, and I'm going to bring in the Chief Executive, Eddie.
Thanks, Provost. As we do, at this time every year, it passes myself to seek for nominations from the floor for Provost of East Ayrshire Council. Leader.
I move Jim Todd. I'll second that.
Thanks, Leader. Councillor Mackay.
I move Councillor Elaine Stewart.
Thanks, Councillor
I'll
Mackay.
second that.
Councillor McFadden.
I move Councillor James Adams, please.
Thanks, Councillor McFadden. Is there
I
any other?
second that.
Sorry, second. Thanks. Is there any other nominations? Sorry, if I just go back to the first two, Jim Todd, was it Jim McMahon that seconded that? That's fine. So just to be clear about that. Okay, roll it. Thanks, members. We have 3 nominations for the post of Provost in East Ayrshire. I'll pass to David in terms of procedure at this stage.
Thanks, Eddie. Through you. The standing orders at Standing Order 35 covers method of voting on motion and amendment where there are more than one amendment. So where a motion and 2 or more amendments, none of which implies negation, as applies here, are before the meeting, the vote shall be taken upon all the proposals, each member having 1 vote. If a proposal receives the support of a majority of the members taking part in the vote, it shall be declared to be the decision of the meeting. But in the event of none of the proposals receiving the support of a majority, the proposal which has received the least support shall be dropped and the vote shall be taken anew upon the remaining proposals, and so on until one proposal has received the support of such a majority, whereupon it will be declared to be the decision of the meeting. If in that first round any of the 3 proposals or amendments can attract the same number of votes, it will be a cut of the cards to determine which one drops off, and then the 2 remaining ones will go back to the vote with all members able to vote on that second round. I hope that's clear in terms of standing orders. And in that case, if through you, Eddie, as chair for this item, just for absolute clarity, then we have the proposal from Councillor Reid, seconded by Councillor McMahon, to appoint Councillor Jim Todd as Provost. We have the first amendment from Councillor Maureen Mackay, seconded by Councillor Barry Douglas, to appoint Councillor Elaine Stewart as Provost. And we have a second amendment from Councillor McFadden, seconded by Councillor Alison Simmons, for Councillor James Adam to be appointed as Provost. So I just propose to take them in turn in that order, and just remind members that as we are in hybrid meeting arrangements and we have a member participating by teams, the vote will require automatically to be by way of roll call.
Thank you, David. Members will now call the roll in ward order. If you could indicate your support or otherwise for the motion, Amendment 1 or Amendment 2, please. Councillor Stephen Canning.
For the motion, Jim Todd, please.
Thank you. Councillor Ellen Friel.
Motion, please.
Councillor John McFadden. Councillor John McGee.
Motion.
Councillor Elaine Cowan.
Motion.
Councillor Maureen Mackay.
Amendment 1.
Councillor David Richardson.
Motion, Jim Todd for Provost.
Councillor James Adams. Councillor Lillian Jones.
Amendment 1.
Councillor Ian Linton,
For the motion.
Councillor Douglas Reid,
For the motion.
Councillor Graham Barton,
Motion, please.
Councillor Graham Boyd,
Amendment 1.
Councillor Barry Douglas,
Amendment 1.
Councillor Neil Ingram,
For the motion.
Councillor Peter Mabin,
Amendment 1, please.
Councillor Claire Maitland,
Motion.
Councillor Jim Todd,
Motion.
Councillor Beverly Clark,
Motion Jim Todd.
Councillor Sally Cogley,
Amendment 1.
Councillor Kevin McGregor,
Amendment 1.
Councillor Linda Holland,
Amendment 1, thanks.
Councillor Claire Leach,
For the motion.
Councillor William Lennox,
Motion.
Councillor Alison Simmons,
Amendment 2.
Councillor Billy Crawford,
Amendment 1.
Councillor June Kyle,
Amendment 1.
Councillor Jim McMahon,
Motion, thanks.
Councillor Neil Watts,
Amendment 2, James Adams.
Councillor Drew Filson,
Motion Jim Todd.
Councillor Jennifer Hogg,
Motion Jim Todd.
Councillor Elaine Stewart.
Amendment 1.
Just to clarify, therefore, that the outcome were 17 votes in favour of the proposal for Councillor Jim Todd as Provost, 11 votes in favour of Councillor Elaine Stewart as Provost, and 4 votes in favour of Councillor James Adams as Provost. So applying Standing Order 35, there is a majority in favour of Councillor Jim Todd, and therefore that would be the result of the vote without need for further vote, as there is a clear majority. So through you, Chair.
Thanks very much, David. So passing back to yourself, Provost.
Thanks very much, David, Julie, Eddie. Thanks, folks. Again, thank you very much for the trust, and let's make East Ayrshire the best that we can. Thanks for that. The next part of Leader.
I was waiting for you to.
Yeah, yeah, I'm going to propose the election of Deputy Provost. I'll ask for nominations. Leader.
I'll second that, Provost.
Thanks, Deputy Leader. I'll ask for any other nominations. Councillor Mackay.
Thank you very much. For Deputy Provost, Councillor Sally Cogley.
Thank you.
Second that, Provost.
Councillor Douglas, thank you. Are there any other nominations? Councillor McFadden.
Councillor Alison Simmons, please.
Thank you. And Councillor Adams seconded. Thanks very much. Over to David.
Just as before then, I won't repeat the standing order. We again have one proposal, 2 amendments, the proposal being for Councillor Claire Leach, the first amendment being for Councillor Sally Cogley, and the second amendment being for Councillor Alison Simmons, all to be appointed as Deputy Provost. We propose to repeat the same process as before by way of a roll call vote, and invite each member to indicate support for either the motion, the first amendment, or the second amendment. Thank you, Provost.
Great, thank you. Again, same process, please, members. I'll start the roll call this time with Provost Jim Todd.
Motion.
Councillor Stephen Canning.
Motion, Claire, please.
Councillor Ellen Friel. Motion. Councillor John McFadden. Councillor John McGee.
Amendment 1.
Councillor Elaine Cowan. Motion. Councillor Maudie Mackay.
Amendment 1.
Councillor David Richardson.
Motion, Claire Leach for Deputy Provost.
Councillor James Adams. Councillor Lillian Jones.
Amendment 1.
Councillor Ian Linton.
For the motion.
Councillor Douglas Reid.
For the motion, Claire Leach.
Councillor Graham Barton.
For the motion.
Councillor Graham Boyd.
Amendment 1, please.
Councillor Barry Douglas.
Amendment 1.
Councillor Neil Ingram.
For the motion.
Councillor Peter Maben,
Amendment 1, please.
Councillor Claire Maitland,
For the motion, Claire Leach.
Councillor Beverly Clark,
Motion, Claire.
Councillor Sally Cogley,
Amendment 1.
Councillor Kevin McGregor,
Amendment 1, thanks.
Councillor Linda Holland,
Amendment 1, thanks.
Councillor Claire Leach,
Motion, please.
Councillor William Lennox,
Motion.
Councillor Alison Simmons,
Amendment 2.
Councillor Billy Crawford,
Amendment 1.
Councillor June Kyle,
Amendment 1.
Councillor Jim McMahon,
The motion.
Councillor Neil Watts,
Amendment 2, Alison Simmons.
Councillor Drew Filson,
Motion Claire Leach.
Councillor Jennifer Hogg,
Motion, Claire Leach.
and Councillor Elaine Stewart.
Amendment 1.
Thank you.
The outcome there of the votes were 16 in favour of Councillor Claire Leach, 12 in favour of Councillor Sally Cogley, and 4 in favour of Councillor Alan Simmons. Applying Standing Order 35, the second amendment would now fall, and that would then require a fresh vote on the remaining proposal and amendment between either Councillor Claire Leach or Councillor Sally Cogley. And just to remind all members present, have the opportunity to vote again on the remaining two proposals. We will need to then go back through on a roll call vote again, obviously, for the reasons explained earlier. So, through you, Provost and Chair, simply propose to now invite by roll call vote a second vote on the remaining proposals, which is the amendment, the motion in favour of Councillor Claire Leach as Deputy Provost, or the first amendment as was in favour of Councillor Sally Cogley as Deputy Provost. If that's fine and clear to members, then just proceed with a further round of vote. Thank you.
Yep, okay, folks, we understand. Yep. Right, thank you, Julie.
Thank you, Provost. Provost Jim Todd,
Proposal.
Councillor Stephen Canning,
Proposal Claire Leach, thanks.
Councillor Ellen Friel,
Motion.
Councillor John McFadden. Amendment, sorry.
Same.
Abstain, thank you. Councillor John McGee,
Amendment, sorry.
thank you. Councillor Elaine Cowan,
Motion.
Councillor Maureen Mackay,
Amendment.
Councillor David Richardson,
Motion Claire Leach for Deputy Provost.
Councillor James Adams, Councillor Lillian Jones,
Amendment.
Councillor Ian Linton,
For the motion.
Councillor Douglas Reid,
Motion.
Councillor Graham Barton,
For the motion.
Councillor Graham Boyd,
Amendment.
Councillor Barry Douglas,
Amendment.
Councillor Neil Ingram,
For the motion.
Councillor Peter Maben,
The amendment, please.
Councillor Claire Maitland,
For the motion.
Councillor Beverly Clark,
Motion.
Councillor Sally Cogley,
Amendment.
Councillor Kevin McGregor,
Amendment.
Councillor Linda Holland,
Amendment, please.
Councillor Claire Leach,
Motion.
Councillor William Lennox,
Motion.
Councillor Alison Simmons,
Amendment.
Councillor Billy Crawford,
Amendment.
Councillor June Kyle,
Amendment.
Councillor Jim McMahon,
The motion, thanks.
Councillor Neil Watts,
Amendment.
Councillor Drew Filson,
Motion Claire Leach.
Councillor Jennifer Hogg,
Motion, Claire Leach.
and Councillor Elaine Stewart.
Amendment, please.
Thank you.
Just to confirm the outcome of the vote there is 16 votes in favour of Councillor Claire Leach as Deputy Provost and 15 votes in favour of Councillor Sally Cogley for Deputy Provost. The decision of Council therefore is by that majority of one to appoint Councillor Claire Leach as Deputy Provost.
Thanks, folks.
Thank you.
Clear view.
Thanks, Provost. Thanks everybody for returning me as Deputy Provost if you did. I think for the last how many years cut out I've been the Deputy Provost, I feel I have taken East Ayrshire forward with children and young people and other groups, and I'm looking forward to continuing that journey side by side with our amazing Provost Jim Todd and taking you all ways. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much, Claire. Thanks, folks. Thanks for your patience in that part. Item 2 on the agenda today is the declarations of interest on page 3. And David, it's the usual business.
Yeah, just reminding members that any council appointments to any committees or boards, etc., don't need to be declared. They're already on the record. In terms of the rest of the items, there's nothing in particular would suggest any members may have interest to declare, but as always, the responsibility and information sits with members. So if any member does wish to declare any interest for any of the other remaining items of business, now would be the time to do so, Provost.
Thanks, David. Members, we're okay with this part? Yep. Online, yeah. Thanks very much. I'm going on to item 3, and this is the 6-monthly update of Cabinet activity. Pages 415 of your papers. Over to the leader.
Thanks very much, Provost, and congratulations to yourself. Members, I'll keep this as brief as I can. Appreciate we've got a hefty agenda here today. But can I just thank everybody in the Cabinet and beyond, and officers too, just for all the hard work we've done this year. Particularly the first item there in terms of the revenue budget from finance colleagues and from colleagues from all sides, just helping us outturn early a successful budget, though obviously concerned about some of the constraints in finance that local government's facing just now, and we continue to make that fight for the cause of saving our services here. But a number of issues here. We've got Brexit, contract inflation, and that's really hurt our capital programme pretty badly, pretty severely. But we continue to roll out schools and houses. As recently, in the last 2 weeks, I've been to see the new carbon zero houses up in Bellevue Gardens and Bonnyton. And earlier in the week, I had the pleasure of going down to Catherine Early Years Nursery, where Mary Bunton, former head teacher, opened. What a great facility that was. If you haven't had the chance to get out to Catherine to see that facility, and the children were absolutely marvellous. I think all that attended really had a good wee morning there. In terms of regeneration capital fund, good to see the 2 projects there, Take a Bow and the Reuse Hub in New Cumnock, making progress, significant progress, and we do all we can to make sure that these projects are successful. And I'd like to thank all the local members for all their hard work and pushing both these projects. In terms of the service improvement plans and the property management progress report, great to see progress being made there. Again, good to see we've got a couple of awards during the week for Witch Road housing. It was a UK award, and also, as we heard yesterday, unless some of you are not in the Cabinet, we heard that Wendy Johnson, one of our housing officers, became Woman of the Year in housing across the UK, a very prestigious award as well. So in terms of also maybe just mention the property management progress report. I think a couple of weeks ago, myself and some of the senior councillors went looking part 1 of our visit around some of our property, and I think we acknowledge we've got plenty of work to do there in the forthcoming term, and I think we really need to get our heads together to get some successful outcomes there. On to building a fairer economy, and East Ayrshire Gift Card and Shop Happy have received national recognition, as is one of our retailers who went down to visit Marion Gillian down in Cumnock, who was Local Retailer of the Year. Another great award and that was across the UK. And I was pleased to go and see Marion because she does a lot of work with the community as well. great progress, and we heard updates yesterday in Cabinet in terms of the community wells building, and continue to work right across East Ayrshire. And last week we launched the Ayrshire Regional Regeneration Strategy, and that is all part of the community wells building right across the whole of Ayrshire. Also, maybe remiss of me just not to mention in terms of the UK Shared Prosperity Fund, the work that's the award that was given to the Grand Hall and Palace Theatre, and we look forward to that project developing in the oncoming years. On to paragraph 7 and 8, perhaps for me one of the most rewarding items of our previous budget, and some of the work that we continue to do in terms of jobs and training, is to actually see in the last few months the number of apprenticeships that across East Ayrshire that we collectively agreed that we needed to take action on, and it's great to see them work within East Ayrshire and with some of our partners and other private sector getting real money, and we heard about this in Cabinet as well, getting money into young people's pockets, driving up economic regeneration and community wealth building there. And we also heard yesterday from the excellent SL33 to be extended right across East Ayrshire, where young people have been excluded from education or found it difficult, have been brought back into the jobs market with alternative training, and we heard from them yesterday, and it was really good to hear that one of our new apprenticeships has been a person that's came through SL33. So that's absolutely great to see our young people make progress there. As we know, in terms of the investment programme, the Roads Asset Management Programme, we heard of the additional 400,000 money that's been added to the programme that was agreed at the budget earlier in the year. And I think there's at least something done in every ward. And it's maybe not as big as members would like, but at least there's continued progress there. And in terms of the bus station, good to see that additional funding is going into there. I know it's an area that's had its problems, but we're able to see the Changing Places toilet last week. A number of senior councillors joined me there to see one of the first in Scotland, if not the first in Scotland, to have a changing place toilet, which makes someone, it's actually for those that require these kind of facilities, is absolutely liberating, as we heard on their visit. And I would urge members, if you've not been there, to maybe to arrange a visit with the people there at the bus station. Continue to make progress in terms of the Ayrshire growth deal, though we do have our concerns. These have been raised in terms of getting the funding in from the various, and we're keeping a close eye on these issues, but we continue to make progress here locally. Tackling poverty and inequality, we've done a lot of work, and I'd like to thank all members for the role that they played in just making sure that, and our communities, making sure that the money was spent where it was most needed, and indeed maybe the private sector that stepped up to the mark and helped our voluntary organisations, made sure that nobody went hungry where possible during the cold winter that we had, and continue to do so. And we heard yesterday at Cabinet how we're trying to help also with some money that was agreed at budget to look at particularly homeless new tenants and tenants and people that come through the homeless persons procedure that are establishing tenancies, to give a little bit of support to them as well. So that's all great progress. Let me just mention in terms of the welcome spaces that my colleague Claire Maitland with members of our staff collected a UK award for that project from the Municipal Journal, quite a prestigious award right across the UK, and hopefully that'll be in the Cabinet behind me fairly soon. But a tribute to our staff for that, and well done to them all. Supporting children and young people, page 12. Wasn't a joy for everybody that attended last week, especially me when one of my children was involved, to see the young people in their clean, green climate change, and some of the ideas that they've got to reduce the carbon footprint. And as we've spoken about, in terms of school transport and other issues. Maybe they've got some ideas and just how we deal with this. And I'm really reassured that our future's in good hands there. Again, in terms of secondary school leaver attainment, it's good to hear some figures recently that say that East Ayrshire's more than punching our weight in this area, but there's absolutely no complacency, and we continue to seek progress there. So, and also just finishing off in terms of particularly the South Authority, the Galloway and Southern Ayrshire biosphere update. It's been interesting to have discussions with other councils and the government minister just to see how we progress this. I think a vital part of that is the Dark Sky Observatory, and I think we've got to do what we can to reflect, keep that within East Ayrshire and support the locals and their initiative to keep that local. And I think the preferred option is within the previous site. It's a great asset, not just for the Doon Valley, but for the whole of Ayrshire and Scotland. And I think we've got to support that as much as we can. Promise, that's just as quick as I could through that report. If there's any questions, if I can answer them, I'll try my best to answer them.
No, thanks very much, Leader. Members, we're open up to questions for the report. Are there any questions? Can't see anybody, nobody online. Thanks very much, Leader. We're going on to item 4, which is the previous minutes. And I move as a correct record.
Second, Provost.
Thanks, Deputy Provost. Are there any questions, members? We're okay, thank you. Move on to item 5, which is the Cabinet Committee minutes. And I'll bring the Leader in.
Just can I move them in block, Provost?
Thank you very much. Deputy Leader.
Second that.
Thank you very much, folks. Any questions? Thank you. Now, we're on to item 6 now, and this is the appointment of Leader of the Council, Deputy Leader, and Cabinet Members, Chairs and Vice Chairs. The pages 71 to 74 of your papers, and I'll bring in David Mitchell to give us the synopsis.
Thanks, Provost. Through you, basically as set out in the report, it's a requirement that once a year, usually at the June meeting, Council is invited to look again at appointment of various posts, Leader, Deputy Leader, Cabinet, etc., etc. They are all set out in Appendix 1. Normally, standing orders is that each normal item taken in turn. So the proposal would be to take proposals at item 1A in appendix in page 73 and invite proposals for Leader of the Council and Chair of Cabinet, being obviously the dual role. And then to invite proposals thereafter in relation to Deputy Leader, and then to invite proposals in respect to Cabinet en bloc if members are agreeable, rather than take each individual Cabinet portfolio by turn. But that would be the fallback position in terms of standing orders if there's no agreement to take them en bloc. So if members are happy with that, Provost, through you, then the next stage would be for you to invite proposals for appointment of the Leader of the Council and Chair of Cabinet.
Thanks, David.
Provost, I
Deputy
propose Douglas Reid, Leader.
Thank you.
Second that, Provost.
Councillor Cowan, thank you. Councillor Douglas.
Thank you, Provost. I will nominate Councillor Mackay as Leader of the Council.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Councillor Jones, thank you. Any other nominations? Councillor Adams. Thank you.
I'll
And
second.
Councillor Simmons, thank you very much. Any other nominations? We're okay. Over to David and Julie, thank you.
Just a quick reminder then, as before, we will now take a roll call vote and invite each member in turn to indicate support for either the motion or proposal, which is for appointment of Councillor Reid, for the first amendment, which is for the appointment of Councillor Maureen Mackay, or for the second amendment, which is for the appointment of Councillor John McFadden. Same process as before. So through you, Chair, over to Julie.
Thank you.
Thank you. Provost Jim Todd.
Motion.
Councillor Stephen Canning.
Motion to give to Leader, thanks.
Councillor Ellen Friel.
Abstain.
Councillor John McFadden. Councillor John McGee.
Motion.
Councillor Elaine Cowan,
Motion.
Councillor Maureen Mackay,
Amendment 1.
Councillor David Richardson,
Motion, Douglas Reid for Douglas Reid for leader.
thank you. Councillor James Adams, Councillor Lillian Jones,
Amendment 1.
Councillor Ian Linton,
Follow the motion.
Councillor Douglas Reid,
Motion,
Councillor Graham Barton,
Motion.
Councillor Graham Boyd,
Amendment 1, please.
Councillor Barry Douglas,
Amendment 1.
Councillor Neil Ingram,
Motion, please.
Councillor Peter Maben,
Amendment 1, please.
Councillor Claire Maitland,
Motion Douglas Reid for leader.
Councillor Beverly Clark,
Motion.
Councillor Sally Cogley,
Amendment 1.
Councillor Kevin McGregor,
Amendment 1, thanks.
Councillor Linda Holland,
Amendment 1, thanks.
Deputy Provost Leach,
Motion, please.
Councillor William Lennox,
Motion,
Councillor Alison Simmons,
Amendment 2.
Councillor Billy Crawford,
Amendment 1.
Councillor June Kyle,
Amendment 1.
Councillor Jim McMahon,
The motion, please.
Councillor Neil Watts,
Amendment 2.
Councillor Drew Filson,
Motion, Douglas Reid.
Councillor Jennifer Hogg,
Motion Douglas Reid.
and Councillor Elaine Stewart.
Amendment 1.
Thank you.
Thanks, Julie. Through you, Provost, in terms of the votes cast there, I can confirm there were 16 votes cast in support of Councillor Reid, 11 votes cast in support of Councillor Mackay, and 4 votes cast in support of Councillor McFadden. Therefore, the second amendment would fall away. Clearly at 16 there is no overall majority, so we're now required to repeat the voting process on the remaining proposals, being the proposals for Councillor Reid and Councillor Mackay. And just to remind members again that all members are entitled to vote on the 2 remaining proposals. So it would be back through you, Chair, to Julie to carry out the next roll call vote. Thank you. Apologies, I'll just take standing order. The question is whether 16 is a majority, given there was the 1 abstention, so I'm just going to double check for the avoidance of any doubt. Yeah.
Take it, Pat.
Sorry, my apologies. Going back to Standing Order 35, it is the majority of the members taking part in the vote. Therefore, 16 over 31 represents a majority. Apologies. Therefore, the motion in favour of Councillor Reid's appointment as leader is carried on the first vote. Apologies. Thank you, colleagues.
Thanks very much, David. We're okay. Ask for nominations for Deputy Leader.
Councillor Jim McMahon.
Second that.
Councillor Cowan, thank you. Any other nominations? Councillor Mackay,
Thank you very much. Councillor Barry Douglas.
thank you.
No, second.
Councillor Jones, second, thank you. Councillor McFadden,
Councillor Neil Watts, please.
thank you. And Councillor Simmons, thank you. And it's the same process, I believe.
Thanks, Provost. And just to confirm then, we have, same as before, Standing Order 35 is invoked. There is a proposal and 2 amendments. The proposals for the appointment of Councillor McMahon, the first amendment is for the appointment of Councillor Douglas, and the second amendment is for the appointment of Councillor Watts. Same process as before, members, and through you, Chair, I'll hand you over to Julie.
Thank you, David. Provost Jim Todd,
Motion.
Councillor Stephen Canning,
Motion, Jim to be deputy, thanks.
Councillor Ellen Friel,
Abstain.
Councillor John McFadden, Councillor John McGee,
Motion.
Councillor Elaine Cowan,
Motion.
Councillor Maureen Mackay,
First Amendment.
Councillor David Richardson,
Motion, Jim McMahon, deputy leader.
Councillor James Adams, Councillor Lillian Jones,
Amendment 1.
Councillor Ian Linton,
Follow the motion.
Councillor Douglas Reid,
Motion.
Councillor Graham Barton,
Motion.
Councillor Graham Boyd,
Amendment 1, please.
Councillor Barry Douglas,
Amendment 1.
Councillor Neil Ingram,
For the motion.
Councillor Peter Maben,
Amendment 1, please.
Councillor Claire Maitland,
For the motion.
Councillor Beverley Clark,
Motion.
Councillor Sally Cogley,
Amendment 1.
Councillor Kevin McGregor,
Amendment 1, thanks.
Councillor Linda Holland,
Amendment 1, thanks.
Deputy Provost Claire Leach,
Motion, thanks.
Councillor William Lennox,
Motion.
Councillor Alison Simmons,
Amendment 2.
Councillor Billy Crawford,
Amendment 1.
Councillor June Kyle,
Amendment 1.
Councillor Jim McMahon,
Motion, thanks.
Councillor Neil Watts,
Amendment 2.
Councillor Drew Filson,
Motion Jim McMahon.
Councillor Jennifer Hogg,
Motion Jim McMahon.
and Councillor Elaine Stewart.
Amendment 1.
Thanks, members.
Thanks, Provost. Through you, I can advise members the outcome of the vote there was 16 votes in favour of Councillor McMahon, 11 votes in favour of Councillor Douglas and 4 votes in favour of Councillor Watts. Noting there was one abstention, therefore the 16 votes as before represents a majority, and therefore the decision of councillors to appoint Councillor Jim McMahon as Deputy Leader and Vice Chair of Cabinet. Thanks, Provost.
Thanks very much, folks, to get through that. I appreciate that. Now, there's another part to this, that's item C of that paper, and it's the other cabinet members on block. Now, it's entirely up to you if you want a recess or do you want to go in straight to it.
Provost, I was going to move on block, just a minor amendment. Status quo reserving, populating the committees at the next council meeting from our side.
Proposal, Deputy Leader.
I'll second that.
Thank you very much. Are there any other proposals? Councillor Mackay.
Thank you very much, Provost. I would move Cabinet as 6 Labour members plus 1 independent, which is Graham Boyd.
Thank you. Do you have a seconder?
I'll second that.
Councillor Douglas, thank you. Are there any other proposals? We're okay, Leader?
Just for the sake of clarity, in terms of the cabinet, I would move the current status quo, which would include 5 SNP member. The status quo, including independent Drew Filson and 2 from the Labour group and 1 from the Conservative group. For the governance and scrutiny, all I would be seeking to do is to replace Councillor Watts with Councillor Cogley, if that as vice convener. But we're not there yet, so that's.
So we've had a motion and an amendment. We'll ask Councillor Mackay.
Sorry, if I only went down as far as any other changes I thought that we would accept as standard. However, that came 2 members of the majority opposition and 1 member of the minority opposition group. Is that acceptable?
Can I just clarify, just through you, Provost, to members, obviously, looking at appendix on page 70B, can't see properly, then council has appointed the leader and chair, and council has appointed the deputy leader and cabinet member with responsibility for housing, welfare, poverty, etc., as per items 1A and 1B. There are then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cabinet portfolio places, 2 seats for the majority opposition and 1 seat for the minority opposition, which is the status quo. If all parties are happy with the status quo, there is no requirement for any proposals. Would simply approve the status quo. I'm just looking for clarification, Councillor Mackay, because obviously, and you may have clarified it, but you initially said 6 plus 1, which would be changing the composition of cabinet. Sorry, through you, Chair.
Absolutely, and thank you for correcting that. Sorry, the addition's not doing well. So that would be 5 plus 1. So that would be 5 Labour members plus one independent as Graham Boyd, and then it would be 2 members of majority opposition and 1 member of the minority opposition.
So we have a proposal from Councillor Reid, seconded by McMahon. Second by Councillor McMahon, which is the status quo effectively as set out in 1C in appendix on page 73. And we have an amendment from Councillor Mackay, which is that the 5 portfolio holders, 5 of the 6 portfolio holders should be Labour appointees, and the 6 should be Councillor Boyd, and the 2 members of the majority opposition and the 1 member of the minority opposition would therefore come from other parties. Is that correct, Councillor Mackay? Okay, so fundamentally it's a vote through you, Provost, between the status quo and allocating 5 portfolios to the Labour group and a 6th portfolio to Councillor Boyd. I suppose, to be fair, Councillor Mackay, you could probably reserve to the Labour group the 5, but I think to be fair to members voting, it would maybe be helpful to be clear, if you can be, is there a specific proposal in relation to the independent member in terms of which portfolio? Just so the members would know what they were voting for, or if it's just the principle, that could be dealt with later, if need be.
It'd just be the principle.
So, thank you. Through you then, Provost, the motion is the status quo as set out there with the current incumbents and the current arrangements for 3 members of the opposition, 2 of the major and 1 of the minority, to take up the opposition seats in Cabinet. And the amendment from Councillor Mackay is at this stage to allocate the 6 portfolios remaining there to 5 Labour members and to 1 independent, with the detail to be subsequently agreed. So if everyone's clear, we'll need to proceed again, Provost, with a further roll call vote.
Leader?
Just to clarify, we've been moving Councillor Filson as independent member, and 2 from Labour, 1 from Conservative.
Yeah, that's the status quo.
Okay, members. We're okay. We're going to the vote now. Understood.
Thank you, Provost. Again, members, if you could submit your proposal for either the motion or amendment or otherwise. So, Provost Jim Todd.
Motion.
Councillor Stephen Canning.
Motion for the status quo, please.
Councillor Ellen Friel.
Abstain.
Councillor John McFadden. Councillor John McGee.
Motion.
Councillor Elaine Cowan.
Motion.
Councillor Maureen Mackay.
Amendment.
Councillor David Richardson.
Motion.
Councillor James Adams. Councillor Lillian Jones.
Amendment.
Councillor Ian Linton.
Forward motion.
Councillor Douglas Reid.
Motion.
Councillor Graham Barton.
Motion.
Councillor Graham Boyd.
Amendment, please.
Councillor Barry Douglas.
Amendment.
Councillor Neil Ingram.
Motion, please.
Councillor Peter Maben.
Amendment, please.
Councillor Claire Maitland.
Motion.
Councillor Beverly Clark.
Motion.
Councillor Sally Cogley. Amendment. Councillor Kevin McGregor.
Amendment, thank you.
Councillor Linda Holland.
Amendment, thanks.
Deputy Provost Claire Leach.
Motion, thanks.
Councillor William Lennox.
Motion.
Councillor Alison Simmons.
Motion.
Councillor Billy Crawford.
Amendment.
Councillor June Kyle.
Amendment.
Councillor Jim McMahon.
Motion, thanks.
Councillor Neil Watts.
Motion.
Councillor Drew Filson.
Motion.
Councillor Jennifer Hogg.
Motion.
Councillor Elaine Stewart.
Amendment, please.
Thanks, members.
Provost, just to confirm then, the outcome of the vote was 20 votes in support of the motion and 11 votes in support of the amendment. So the motion is carried, which is the status quo in terms of the current makeup and composition of Cabinet. Thank you, Provost.
Thanks, folks. Item D of this part of the papers are the other appointments of chairs and vice chairs on block. How do you want to approach this, Leader?
Just, I'm removing the status quo with the exception of governance and scrutiny to replace Councillor Neil Watts as vice chair with Councillor Sally Cogley.
Thank you,
I second that.
Deputy Leader. Any other proposals? We're okay, thanks folks. We're on to item 7 of papers today, and sorry if I'm going through very quickly, but it's a very busy agenda. And this is item 7, which is the annual accounts, and we'll bring in Julie to speak to this paper. Thanks, Julie.
Thank you, Provost. Members, there's a legal requirement for Council to submit our unaudited annual accounts to our external auditor by the 30th of June each year. The draft accounts are presented today to the Council for approval and thereafter for submission to our external auditor, Audit Scotland. In line with the regulations, the accounts have been advertised for public inspection with notice placed on our website and on our public notice board, and that public inspection period will run from tomorrow until the 20th of July. The accounts have been prepared in accordance with the Code of Practice and Local Authority Accounting and International Financial Accounting Standards, and it's these standards which cause the information in the accounts to be presented in a different way from the information reported in the East Ayrshire Performance Report. Paragraph 5 on page 75 of your papers notes that the comprehensive income and expenditure statement shows the gross cost of delivering services in 2022-23 was just under £660 million. This was £30 million higher than the previous year and was mainly due to increased costs for goods and services and staff costs due to high rates of inflation. The general fund balance is £49 million, which includes earmarked amounts by services of £38 million, with the general fund uncommitted balance sitting at £10.8 million, or 2.9% of our net revenue expenditure. Members, the accounts need to contain specific liabilities at the 31st of March as provisions, and these are listed in paragraphs 10 and 11, and these also contain an amount for the works planned at the Burns Mall. The remuneration report is presented in the accounts in accordance with the Local Authority Accounts Scotland Regulations 2014. Members, the most significant change in this year's accounts has been the movement from a pension liability to the creation of a pension asset. It would normally be the case that the Council's balance sheet would hold a liability for pensions, given the cost of paying pensions to previous employees and, more importantly, the cost of meeting future pension obligations for staff. However, the scheme actuary has undertaken the year-end valuation, which notes that due to the high rates of corporate bonds and government gilts, together with a high interest rate and high inflation, then there has been a movement of £360 million in our pension reserve from last year. This moved the 2021-22 liability of £65 million to an asset of £295 million in 2022-23. The significance of this movement means that we need to utilise specific accounting standards and interpretations to adjust the value of the asset to the lower of the actual surplus or the asset ceiling. This adjusts the value of the asset from £295 million to a value of £22 million, and the pension asset is shown at the top part of the balance sheet on page 37 of the accounts document. Members, Directors of Finance are discussing this material change in pensions and are examining ways in which the benefit of the asset could be realised. Work will continue in the months ahead with further information provided once discussions between the pension fund, the actuaries, councils and the auditors take place. Finally, Provost, I'm grateful to members for meeting my colleagues earlier this week to go through the accounts in detail, and along with the Audit Scotland publication Why the Accounts Matter, which is a really useful guide and prompt for members when considering the annual accounts. Provost, the recommendation for members are on page 75, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Thanks very much, Julie. And on behalf of everyone, thanks for you and the team to come and meet us and put it down in layman's terms that we could understand. So I appreciate that. Members, will open it out. Anybody, any questions, any comments? Not online. No, thank you. Thanks very much, Julie. Thanks, members. I'm going to propose that we're waiting for the Chief Social Work Officer's report. There's going to be a wee presentation, and I'm going to ask that we've a 10-minute break while that gets set up. And that's, we'll say we'll be back here for, we'll say 10 past. Is that okay? So back here for 10 past 11, and I'm going to start at 10 past. Is that okay? So a wee bit more than 10 minutes. Thank you.